Have you ever felt an invisible force guiding you, whispering that there's more to life than what meets the eye? Something deeper, something powerful? Scientists once dismissed it, but now research is proving what ancient wisdom always knew. There's an unseen energy shaping your reality, and if you learn to harness it, your entire life can change. I'm Dr. Joe Dispenza, and for years I've studied how the mind, energy, and the universe are interconnected. Today, I'm revealing something extraordinary. How February 14th isn't just about love, but a cosmic gateway to transformation. A hidden force connects us all, and science is now proving that love is more than just an emotion. It's the most powerful energy in the universe. But the real question is, how do you tap into it? And how can you use this energy to manifest the life you desire? Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to show you the scientific truth behind manifestation, the hidden power of love, and why this one day holds a secret most people never realize. If you're ready to unlock your full potential, to reshape your thoughts, and to create a reality beyond your wildest dreams, then you need to hear this. Let's begin. Welcome to our channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future explorations into the incredible potential of the human mind and the boundless power of energy. Let's begin. Before we talk about the practical applications of energy and manifestation, we need to understand a fundamental concept: the energy shift. What exactly is an energy shift? In its simplest form, it's a change in the prevailing emotional or vibrational state, either within an individual or within a group. Think of it like the tide coming in or going out. The ocean's energy, its overall state, shifts. Similarly, our individual energies and the collective energy of those around us are constantly in flux. These shifts can be subtle, almost imperceptible, or they can be dramatic and powerful, like a sudden storm. Before we delve deeper, it's important to realize that everything is energy. From the smallest subatomic particle to the largest star, everything vibrates at a certain frequency. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, these are all forms of energy. And just like physical energy, emotional energy can be measured, it can be felt, and it can be influenced. Before we move on to Valentine's Day specifically, consider how easily your own energy can shift throughout the day. You might wake up feeling optimistic and energized, only to have that energy dip after a stressful encounter at work or a difficult conversation with a loved one. Conversely, a kind word, a beautiful piece of music, or a moment of connection with nature can lift your spirits and raise your vibration. These are all examples of energy shifts on a personal level. Before we connect this to the collective, imagine a group of people in a room. If everyone is feeling joyful and excited, the overall energy of the room will be high. You can almost feel it, a palpable buzz in the air. But if one person starts to feel anxious or angry, that energy can start to spread, subtly influencing the others in the room. This is the power of collective energy, the interconnectedness of our emotional states. Before we examine Valentine's Day, it's crucial to understand the role of focus in amplifying energy. Where our attention goes, energy flows. This is a fundamental principle of manifestation. When we focus our attention on something, we're essentially feeding it with energy, making it more likely to manifest in our reality. Think of a magnifying glass focusing the sun's rays. The focused energy becomes powerful enough to ignite a flame. Our collective focus works in much the same way. Before we discuss the emotional implications, consider this. On a typical day, people's emotional energies are scattered, focused on a multitude of different things: work, family, finances, personal challenges. These all vie for our attention. But on Valentine's Day, there's a collective focusing of attention on a particular set of emotions: love, connection, romance, appreciation. This shared focus acts like that magnifying glass, amplifying those emotions on a massive scale. Before we look at the effects, let's consider the sheer number of people participating in Valentine's Day. Millions, if not billions, of individuals around the world are directing their attention towards love and connection on this one particular day. This creates a powerful wave of emotional energy, a surge in the collective consciousness. It's not just about romantic love, although that plays a significant role. It's also about the love between family members, between friends, the love for pets, the love for life itself. Before we talk about the power of this amplification, think about the energy of a concert. Tens of thousands of people gathered in one place, all focused on the same music, the same performer. The energy in that environment is electric. You can feel it coursing through the crowd, connecting everyone in a shared experience. Valentine's Day is similar, but instead of music, the focus is on love, creating a powerful resonance of that particular emotion. Before we explore how to harness this, consider the power of ritual. For centuries, humans have used rituals to focus their intentions and amplify their energy. Valentine's Day, in a way, has become a modern ritual. The exchange of gifts, the romantic dinners, the expressions of love. These are all symbolic acts that reinforce the focus on connection and affection. And because so many people are participating in these rituals, the energy is further amplified. Before we conclude this section, it's important to remember that energy is not just some abstract concept. It's real, it's palpable, and it has a profound impact on our lives. Understanding how energy shifts, how collective focus amplifies emotions, and how we can consciously direct our energy is key to creating the life we desire. Valentine's Day, with its concentrated focus on love, provides a unique opportunity to tap into this powerful force and use it to manifest positive change in our lives and in the world around us. First and foremost, it's about awareness. Recognize that Valentine's Day isn't just another commercial holiday. It's a day when the collective consciousness is focused on love, creating a powerful energetic field. By simply acknowledging this, by tuning into this prevailing vibe, you've already taken the first step towards aligning your personal energy with the day's collective resonance. Before we delve into specific techniques, it's essential to understand the importance of alignment. Think of it like tuning a musical instrument. If your instrument is out of tune, it won't resonate with the other instruments in the orchestra. Similarly, if your personal energy is misaligned with the prevailing energy of love on Valentine's Day, you won't be able to fully tap into its power. Before we talk about aligning with love, we must address any resistance you may have to it. Perhaps you've experienced heartbreak in the past. Perhaps you feel unworthy of love. Perhaps you're simply uncomfortable expressing your emotions. These blockages, these energetic knots, can prevent you from fully receiving and radiating love. Before we move on, it's crucial to address these blockages. One powerful technique is to practice self love. Spend some time reflecting on all the things you appreciate about yourself. Acknowledge your strengths, your talents, your unique qualities. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Remember, you cannot truly give or receive love if you don't first love yourself. Before we discuss external expressions of love, let's focus on internal cultivation. Spend some time in quiet contemplation, focusing on the feeling of love within your own heart. Imagine that your heart is a source of radiant light, radiating love outwards to every cell in your body. Feel the warmth, the expansion, the joy that arises within you. This internal cultivation of love is the foundation for everything else. Before we look at romantic love, consider the other forms of love in your life. The love for your family, your friends, your pets, even the love for nature. Express your appreciation for these relationships. A simple phone call, a heartfelt note, a gesture of kindness, these small acts can have a profound impact, both on the recipient and on your own energy field. Before we talk about expressing love to others, let's talk about receiving it. Be open to receiving love in all its forms. Allow yourself to be nurtured, to be appreciated, to be cared for. Sometimes the biggest challenge isn't giving love, it's allowing ourselves to receive it. Before we move into the specifics of Valentine's Day, remember that alignment isn't just about feeling love on one particular day, it's about cultivating a consistent state of love within yourself. It's about making love a part of your daily life, not just something you celebrate once a year. Before we leave this topic, remember that the energy of Valentine's Day is not just about romantic love, it's about connection. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. It's about understanding that we are all part of something larger than ourselves. And it's from this place of connection that true love arises. So, as you move through this day and the days that follow, remember to cultivate love, not just for others, but for yourself, for life, and for the boundless energy that connects us all. Before we delve into the specifics of attracting love and abundance, it's essential to understand the underlying principles of my approach to manifestation. It begins with the understanding that the universe is not separate from us. It is an extension of us. We are all connected, all part of the same energetic field, and this field responds to our thoughts and feelings. Before we talk about changing our reality, we must understand how our current reality is created. Our habitual thoughts, the ones we think over and over again, create neural pathways in our brains. These pathways become ingrained, almost automatic, shaping our perceptions and influencing our actions and our emotions. The feelings we consistently experience reinforce these neural pathways, further solidifying our reality. Before we look at changing our mindset, let's consider the role of the subconscious mind. The subconscious is like a vast storehouse of memories, beliefs, and emotions. It operates beneath the surface of our conscious awareness, yet it exerts a powerful influence on our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Often, our subconscious beliefs are limiting, holding us back from achieving our full potential. Before we discuss attracting love and abundance, we need to understand the concept of quantum reality. Quantum physics tells us that reality is not fixed and solid as we perceive it to be. At the subatomic level, particles exist in a state of potential, fluctuating between different possibilities. It is our observation, our conscious attention, that collapses these possibilities into a single reality. Before we move on to the practical application of this knowledge, it's important to recognize that we are not just our thoughts and feelings. We are also our bodies. Our bodies are not just passive vessels, they are active participants in the manifestation process. Our bodies store memories, emotions, and beliefs at a cellular level, and these cellular memories can influence our thoughts and feelings, creating a feedback loop that reinforces our reality. Before we discuss specific techniques for changing our mindset, we must understand the importance of coherence. Coherence is a state of alignment between our thoughts, feelings, and actions. When our thoughts, feelings, and actions are all moving in the same direction, we create a powerful, energetic field that can attract our desires. Before we talk about attracting love, let's talk about the feeling of love. Love is not just a word, it's a vibration. It's a feeling of connection, of warmth, of expansion. To attract love into your life, you must first embody the feeling of love. You must cultivate it within yourself, radiate it outwards, and become a magnet for it. Before we discuss attracting abundance, let's talk about the feeling of abundance. Abundance is not just about having a lot of money, it's about feeling a sense of sufficiency, of gratitude, of appreciation for what you already have. To attract abundance into your life, you must first embody the feeling of abundance. You must cultivate it within yourself, radiate it outwards, and become a magnet for it. Before we conclude this section, remember that changing your mindset is not a quick fix. It's a process, a journey of self discovery and transformation. It requires consistent effort, dedication, and a willingness to let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. But the rewards are immeasurable. By changing your mindset, you can change your reality. You can attract love, abundance, and all the good things that life has to offer. And you can create a life that is truly aligned with your deepest desires. So, how do we put these principles into practice? How do we actually do this? How do we take the understanding of energy, the knowledge of mindset shifts, and translate it into tangible results, specifically in the realm of attracting love? It comes down to practical steps, consistent effort, and a deep belief in your own power to create. Before we dive into attracting romantic love, the most crucial foundation, the bedrock upon which all successful relationships are built, is self love. You cannot truly give or receive love if you don't first love yourself. This isn't about ego or narcissism, it's about recognizing your inherent worth, your unique beauty, your divine essence. Before we move on, ask yourself, what do I appreciate about myself? What are my strengths, my talents, my unique qualities? Take some time to reflect on these questions. Write them down. Make a list of all the things you love about yourself. And if you struggle with this, start small. Appreciate your kindness, your resilience, your sense of humor. The more you focus on the positive, the easier it will become to see your own value. Before we talk about attracting a partner, practice self compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up about it. Learn from it and move on. Forgive yourself for past hurts and disappointments. Let go of any feelings of guilt or shame. Before we move on to external expressions of love, cultivate self care. Make time for activities that bring you joy and nourish your soul. Before we discuss visualization, let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that raises our personal energy levels. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our attention from what's lacking in our lives to what's already abundant. This shift in focus creates a positive feedback loop, attracting more good things into our experience. Before we move on to specific gratitude practices, consider this. Start a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small as long as they are genuine. Before we talk about attracting a specific type of partner, expand your gratitude beyond the personal. Be grateful for the beauty of nature, for the kindness of strangers, for the simple joys of everyday life. The more you cultivate gratitude, the more you raise your vibration, making you a magnet for love. Before we discuss visualizing a relationship, let's talk about clarity. It's essential to be clear about what you're looking for in a partner and in a relationship. What qualities are you seeking? What values are important to you? What kind of relationship do you envision? Before we move on to the actual visualization, get specific. Don't just say you want to attract love. Describe the kind of love you want to attract. What qualities do you desire in a partner? What kind of relationship do you envision? The more specific you are, the more effectively you can use the power of visualization. Before we talk about the visualization process itself, remember that visualization is not just about seeing a picture in your mind's eye. It's about feeling the emotions associated with having what you desire. It's about embodying the feeling of being in a loving, fulfilling relationship. Before we conclude this section, imagine yourself in your ideal relationship. See yourself with your partner. Feel the love, the joy, the connection. Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? The more vividly you can imagine it, the more powerful the visualization will be. And the more you practice this, the more you align your energy with the reality you desire, making it more likely to manifest in your life. Just as we can manifest love, we can also manifest abundance. And just as with love, the process begins within. It starts with a shift in mindset, a change in our perception of reality. It requires us to move from a focus on lack to a focus on abundance. Before we delve into specific techniques, it's crucial to understand that abundance is not just about money. It's about a sense of sufficiency, a feeling of having enough. It's about recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life, even if it's not in the form you expect. Before we talk about financial abundance, consider the other forms of abundance in your life. The abundance of love, of friendship, of good health, of creative inspiration, the abundance of nature, the beauty of a sunset, the wonder of a starry night. The more you appreciate the abundance that already surrounds you, the more you open yourself up to receiving even more. Before we move on, it's important to address the common misconception that focusing on abundance means ignoring the challenges in your life. It doesn't. It simply means shifting your perspective. Instead of dwelling on what's lacking, focus on what you can control, on the opportunities that are available to you, on the potential for growth and expansion. Before we discuss attracting financial resources, let's talk about the feeling of abundance. How does it feel to be abundant? Imagine yourself living a life of abundance. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Engage all your senses. Feel the sense of ease, the sense of security, the sense of joy. Before we move on to practical steps, it's crucial to understand that feelings are the language of the universe. The universe responds to your vibrations, to your emotional state. So, to attract abundance, you must first embody the feeling of abundance. You must cultivate it within yourself, radiate it outwards, and become a magnet for it. Before we discuss changing these beliefs, identify your limiting beliefs about money and abundance. What stories do you tell yourself about wealth? Do you believe that money is the root of all evil? Do you believe that you're not worthy of abundance? Do you believe that there's not enough to go around? Once you've identified these beliefs, you can begin to challenge them. Before we move on to affirmations, let's talk about the importance of setting clear intentions. What do you want to attract into your life? Be specific. Don't just say you want to be wealthy. What does wealth mean to you? What would you do with the extra resources? How would it impact your life and the lives of others? Before we discuss the specifics of intention setting, write down your intentions. Be clear, concise, and specific. Use positive language. Focus on what you want to attract, not what you want to avoid. And be sure to align your intentions with your values. Before we talk about affirmations, let's discuss the power of visualization. See yourself living a life of abundance. Imagine yourself having the resources you need to pursue your dreams, to support your loved ones, to make a positive impact on the world. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of fulfillment. Before we move on to the next step, remember that visualization is not just about seeing a picture in your mind's eye. It's about feeling the emotions associated with having what you desire. It's about embodying the feeling of abundance. Before we conclude this section, let's talk about affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself, either out loud or silently, to reinforce a desired belief or state of being. Before we close, create affirmations that resonate with you. Some examples include: I am open and receptive to abundance in all areas of my life. I am a magnet for wealth and prosperity. I am grateful for the abundance that already exists in my life. Repeat these affirmations regularly with feeling and conviction. The more you repeat them, the more they will become ingrained in your subconscious mind, shaping your reality. Meditation, in my view, is not just a practice, it's a gateway to inner peace, to self awareness, and to the very source of creation. It's a powerful tool that can help us align our thoughts and emotions, creating a fertile ground for manifestation. Before we delve into the specifics of how meditation helps with alignment, let's understand what meditation is, and perhaps more importantly, what it isn't. It's not about emptying your mind completely. That's a common misconception. It's not about suppressing your thoughts or forcing them to be quiet. That's actually counterproductive. Before we discuss the benefits, meditation, in its essence, is about observing your thoughts without judgment. It's about becoming aware of the constant chatter in your mind, the endless stream of thoughts that flow through your consciousness, and simply observing them as a detached witness. Before we move on to techniques, consider this. Think of your mind as a turbulent ocean. Waves of thoughts and emotions are constantly crashing against the shore of your awareness. Meditation is like learning to navigate those waves, to find the stillness beneath the surface, the calm center amidst the storm. Before we talk about aligning thoughts and emotions, meditation helps us to become more aware of our thoughts and emotions. It gives us the space to observe them, to understand their patterns, to see where they come from. This awareness is crucial for creating lasting change. Before we discuss specific meditation practices, when we're caught up in the whirlwind of our daily lives, we're often reacting to our thoughts and emotions automatically, without conscious awareness. Meditation allows us to step back from this reactive mode and become more intentional about how we respond to our inner world. Before we move on to the benefits, by observing our thoughts without judgment, we begin to realize that we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness behind the thoughts, the observer of the inner landscape. This realization is incredibly liberating. It gives us a sense of detachment, a sense of perspective that allows us to choose which thoughts and emotions we want to cultivate. Before we talk about alignment, meditation allows us to access a deeper level of consciousness, a place of inner stillness and peace. From this place of stillness, we can begin to align our thoughts and emotions with our desired outcomes. We can begin to create a coherent state of being where our inner world is in harmony with our outer aspirations. Before we discuss the role of meditation in manifestation, consider this. When our thoughts and emotions are scattered and chaotic, our energy is also scattered and chaotic. It's difficult to focus our attention, to set clear intentions, to manifest our desires. Meditation helps us to bring our energy into alignment, creating a powerful force for creation. Before we move on to a specific technique, meditation helps us to quiet the inner critic, the voice in our heads that tells us we're not good enough, that we're not worthy, that we can't achieve our dreams. By quieting this inner critic, we create space for positive affirmations, for self love, and for the belief that we are capable of manifesting our desires. Before we talk about centering ourselves, meditation helps us to connect with our intuition, our inner wisdom. From this place of connection, we can receive guidance, insights, and inspiration that can help us on our path to manifestation. Before we discuss focusing on desired outcomes, meditation is not just about sitting quietly and emptying your mind. It can also be a powerful tool for visualization. During meditation, when your mind is calm and focused, you can visualize your desired outcomes with greater clarity and intensity. You can engage all your senses, feel the emotions associated with achieving your goals, and create a powerful imprint on your subconscious mind. Before we conclude this section, I'd like to share a simple meditation technique that you can use to center yourself and focus on your desired outcomes. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, either on a cushion or in a chair, with your spine straight but relaxed. Close your eyes gently. Before we close, bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of the breath entering and leaving your body. Don't try to control your breath, simply observe it. As you breathe in, imagine that you're inhaling peace and tranquility. As you breathe out, imagine that you're releasing any stress or tension. Before we finish, if your mind starts to wander, that's perfectly normal. Simply acknowledge the thought without judgment and gently bring your attention back to your breath. The more you practice, the easier it will become to stay focused. Before we end, after a few minutes of focusing on your breath, you can begin to visualize your desired outcomes. See yourself living the life you desire. Feel the emotions associated with achieving your goals. Engage all your senses. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more powerful it will be. Before we leave this topic, continue this practice for 10-15 minutes each day. The more consistent you are, the more benefits you will experience. Meditation is not a magic bullet, but it is a powerful tool that can help you align your thoughts, emotions, and energy, creating a fertile ground for manifestation. And from this place of alignment, you can begin to create the life you truly desire. The principles we've discussed, the power of thought, emotion, and focused intention, aren't just theoretical concepts. They're real, they're tangible, and they work. Before we delve into specific examples, it's important to understand that each person's journey is unique. There's no one size fits all approach to manifestation. What works for one person may not work for another. The key is to find what resonates with you, to experiment with different techniques, and to trust your intuition. Before we share any stories, let's remember that these individuals aren't special or gifted in some extraordinary way. They are just like you and me. They simply learned how to harness the power of their minds, to align their energy with their desires, and to believe in their ability to create their own reality. Before we begin, consider this. I remember one woman, let's call her Sarah, who came to one of my workshops feeling completely lost and hopeless. She had been struggling with loneliness and a string of failed relationships. She felt like she would never find true love. Before we move on, Sarah was initially skeptical, but she was also open to the possibility that there might be more to reality than she had previously believed. She began to practice the techniques we discussed, focusing on self-love, cultivating gratitude, and visualizing the kind of relationship she desired. Before we talk about her results, Sarah didn't just focus on attracting a partner. She focused on becoming the kind of person she wanted to attract. Before we discuss the outcome, after several months of dedicated practice, Sarah met someone who was everything she had been looking for. They shared similar values, they had a deep connection, and they treated each other with love and respect. It wasn't just about finding a partner. It was about creating a loving and fulfilling relationship. Before we share another story, let's talk about abundance. I worked with a man, we'll call him David, who was struggling financially. He felt like he was constantly chasing his tail, working long hours just to make ends meet. He was living in a state of constant stress and anxiety. Before we move on, David was initially resistant to the idea that his thoughts and feelings could influence his financial situation. He had been raised to believe that hard work was the only way to achieve financial success, but he was willing to try something new. Before we discuss his journey, David began to shift his focus from lack to abundance. He started to appreciate the resources he already had, even if they were limited. He began to visualize himself living a life of financial freedom, feeling the sense of security and ease that came with it. Before we talk about his results, David also started to set clear intentions about what he wanted to create in his life. He didn't just want to be rich. He wanted to use his resources to make a positive impact on the world. He wanted to support his family, give back to his community, and pursue his passions. Before we share the outcome, after several months of consistent practice, David's financial situation began to improve dramatically. Opportunities started to present themselves. He received unexpected bonuses at work. He even started a side business that quickly became successful. Before we conclude, these are just two examples of how these principles can be applied to manifest love and abundance. I've seen similar transformations in countless other individuals, people who have healed from chronic illnesses, people who have overcome addictions, people who have achieved their dreams against all odds. Before we leave this topic, remember that these stories are not meant to be inspirational fluff. They are real life examples of the power of the human mind, the power of focused intention, and the power of aligning our energy with our desires. They are proof that we are all capable of creating our own reality. Before we close, the key takeaway from these testimonials is not just that manifestation is possible, but that it requires effort, dedication, and a willingness to believe in yourself. It's about taking responsibility for your own life, recognizing your power to create, and aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your desired outcomes. And it's about remembering that you too have this power within you. The path to manifestation, while incredibly powerful, isn't always a smooth, straight line. There are bumps in the road, challenges to overcome, and common pitfalls that can trip us up if we're not careful. It's important to be aware of these potential obstacles so that we can navigate them effectively and stay on course toward our desired outcomes. Before we discuss specific pitfalls, it's crucial to understand that manifestation is a process, not a magic trick. It requires consistent effort, unwavering belief, and a willingness to learn and grow. There will be times when you feel discouraged, when you doubt your ability to manifest your desires. These moments are normal. They're part of the journey. The key is to not let these moments derail you. Before we talk about negative self-talk, one of the most common pitfalls is negative self-talk. That little voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you can't achieve your dreams. This inner critic can be incredibly persuasive, especially if it's been with you for a long time. Before we discuss overcoming negative self-talk, recognize that these negative thoughts are just thoughts. They're not facts. They're simply stories you've been telling yourself, often based on limiting beliefs from the past. You have the power to choose which thoughts you want to believe. Before we move on, challenge your negative thoughts. When you notice a negative thought arising, ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is there any evidence to support it? More often than not, you'll find that the answer is no. Before we talk about doubt, another common pitfall is doubt. Doubt can creep in when we don't see immediate results. It can whisper in our ear, telling us that we're wasting our time, that manifestation doesn't really work. Before we discuss overcoming doubt, remember that manifestation is a process. It takes time for your desires to manifest in the physical world. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Trust the process. Trust that the universe is working on your behalf. So here we are. We've explored the power of energy, the significance of Valentine's Day as a collective focal point for love, and the practical steps you can take to manifest your desires, both in love and abundance. But knowledge without action is like a seed that never gets planted. It holds potential, but it never blossoms. Before we conclude, I want to leave you with a powerful message. Now is the time to take action. Valentine's Day is not just a day for romantic dinners and chocolates. It's a day when the collective energy is amplified, a day when the universe is particularly receptive to our intentions. It's an opportunity, a powerful portal to step into your power and create the life you desire. Before we talk about taking the first step, remember that change starts from within. It begins with a shift in your mindset, a decision to take control of your thoughts and emotions. It's about recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. Before we discuss practical steps, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel completely ready. The perfect moment is now. The time to start is now. Take the first step, no matter how small, and trust that the universe will support you on your journey. Before we move on, don't underestimate the power of small actions. A few minutes of meditation each day, a few moments of gratitude practice, a few positive affirmations repeated with feeling, these small acts can have a profound impact over time. Before we talk about Valentine's Day specifically, use the energy of Valentine's Day to your advantage. Connect with the feeling of love, not just romantic love, but the love for yourself, for your loved ones, for all of creation. Radiate that love outwards, and you will become a magnet for it. Before we discuss manifesting abundance, use the amplified energy of the day to focus your intentions. What do you want to create in your life? What are your deepest desires? Visualize them with clarity and feel the emotions associated with achieving them. Before we move on to practical exercises, here are some specific actions you can take today, this Valentine's Day. Spend some time in quiet contemplation, reflecting on what you truly want to manifest in your life. Write it down. Be clear, concise, and specific. Before we talk about self love, practice self love. Do something that makes you feel good about yourself. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Remember, you are worthy of love and abundance. Before we discuss gratitude, express gratitude for all the good things in your life, both big and small. The more you focus on what you're grateful for, the more you will attract into your life. Before we move on to visualization, visualize your desired outcomes. See yourself living the life you want to create. Feel the emotions associated with achieving your goals. Engage all your senses. Before we talk about affirmations, repeat positive affirmations throughout the day. Reinforce your beliefs about love, abundance, and your own power to create. Before we conclude, remember that you are not alone on this journey. We are all connected, all part of the same energetic field. The universe is always supporting you, even when it doesn't seem like it. Before we close, have faith in yourself. Believe in your ability to manifest your desires. Trust that you have the power to create the life you truly want to live. Before we finish, take action today. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Embrace the energy of Valentine's Day and step into your power. You have the ability to shape your reality. You have the ability to create a life filled with love, abundance, and joy. The power is within you. Now, go out there and create it. So let's recap what we've covered today. We've explored the fascinating concept of energy shifts, how our thoughts and emotions have a tangible impact on our reality, and how collective focus, especially on a day like Valentine's Day, can amplify these energies. We've delved into practical steps to harness this heightened energy, focusing on self love, gratitude, clear intentions, and powerful visualization techniques. We've also discussed the importance of meditation in aligning our inner world with our outer desires, and shared real life examples of individuals who have successfully manifested love and abundance. We've also touched on some common pitfalls to watch out for and how to avoid them. Before we close, remember that February 14th is more than just a day for exchanging cards and flowers. It's a day when the collective consciousness is tuned to the frequency of love, creating a powerful wave of energy that we can all tap into. It's an opportunity to amplify our intentions, to solidify our desires, and to accelerate the manifestation process. Before we finish, I encourage you to embrace this energy shift. Focus your attention on what you want to create in your life, whether it's attracting a loving relationship, experiencing greater abundance, or simply cultivating more joy and peace within yourself. Remember, the power lies within you. You have the ability to shape your reality. Before we say goodbye, the journey of self discovery and manifestation is an ongoing one. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and evolving. There's always more to explore, more to discover about the incredible potential of the human mind and the boundless power of energy. Before we leave, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey today. It's been an honor to share these insights with you. I truly believe that each and every one of you has the power to create a life filled with love, abundance, and joy. Before we go, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us share this message with others who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel at Mindful Rise so you don't miss out on any of our future explorations into the incredible potential of the human mind and the boundless power of energy. We release new videos regularly, packed with practical tips and insights to help you on your journey. Thank you again for watching, and remember, the power is within you. Now, go out there and create the life you truly desire.